Yesterday, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost announced that Ohio has filed a lawsuit in federal court against Norfolk Southern. The lawsuit arises out of last month's toxic chemical train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. The derailment released more than 1 million gallons of hazardous chemicals, endangering the health of residents and damaging the state's natural resources. Yost outlined the 58-count complaint, saying this.
This derailment was entirely avoidable, and I'm concerned that Norfolk Southern may be putting profits for their own company above the health and safety of the cities and communities that they operate in.
Earlier, I spoke to Ohio's Governor, Mike Dewine. Governor, nice to talk to you, sir.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Governor, can you give me some idea of what it's like in East Palestine right now?
Well, a lot of activity is going on as a lot of the dirt continues to be removed from, around the railroad. The tracks were taken up about a week ago, and they're still taking dirt out of there from that. Continuing to test the air, continuing to test the water. Those are the things that are going on. On the ground. I think people are still, concerned. Some people are, as they go into the health clinic that we set up, they have some symptoms, they have rashes, they have some other things. I think that, based on the conversations that I've had with residents, many of them are just concerned, not so much about now, but they're concerned about in the future. Are they going to come down with something 5 years from now, 10 years, 15 years from now? And that's why I think it's so important as quickly as possible to get a fund actually set up. I've talked to the railroad about that. I think they're very, very open to do that and want to do that. I know our Attorney General was in conversation with their lawyers several days ago in regard to that as well. I think having that fund set up will at least give people, good confidence that if something arises 5, 10 years from now in their health or their family's health, that there'll be money there to help them.
I guess that's, maybe the best we can do. However, I must admit, if I lived there and someone said to me, I'm from the government, your air is clean, your soil is clean, I'm from the railroad, you won't have any health conditions, and we're going to set aside $1 million in case you get cancer 5 years or 10 years from now, that just doesn't seem like, I can understand the heartache and the troubles of the people of the area, because quite honestly, it's a lot easier 1,000 miles away saying, yeah, you'll be fine. But if you live there, it's different.
Yeah, and look, no one's saying they're going to be fine. I mean, what we can simply do, because no one can predict the future, what we can simply do is tell them what we're coming up with. So, I mean, one of the concerns that was expressed to me, and a number of the times that I've been over there is, can my kids go out in the yard and play? And that's kind of a basic thing, but they're concerned about that. So we have now started the testing of the dirt, the soil, and we'll be able to come back to people and say, look, this is what the laboratory came up with. And I think the thing that we're trying to get across to people is, these are independent labs in many cases. Sometimes it's the government's lab, but sometimes it's a very independent lab who have, they don't have, a dog in this fight. I mean, they're going to call it like it is. But look, you're right. I mean, no one is telling everybody, look, it's going to be fine, but what we have to do, I think, is be honest with people, tell them what we're finding, tell them we're going to continue to test year after year after year, and we're not going away. And I think that's a great fear that people have, is that, look, as soon as the cameras go away and people start forgetting about East Palestine, that, they're not going to get any help. And we have to assure them that they are going to get help, and we're not going to forget them, and we're going to stay there.
In terms of testing, though, at least if I lived there, I would want, in the beginning, daily testing. I mean, it may be overkill, but I would certainly want that. I would want to understand the testing. I would want, to have, community meetings where people told me, what it is and really explained it to me and explained to me in terms that I could understand. And I'd like to have it maintained, but sometimes people have short memories. Is that I realize as time marches on that maybe we could reduce the testing, but I think it has to be overkill, to use my word, for testing.
I agree. That's what I would want to. Look, I mean, and I try to put myself in the position of someone who lives there and who has a family. And, what would I want for my kids? What would I want for myself and my spouse? And how would I feel? I mean, I think we have to try to put ourselves in their position. We're not in their position, but we have to try to do that and come up with ways that we can, give them the information that they need. I mean, for example, our agriculture department right now is trying to address some concerns raised by farmers. We grow a crop or we have livestock. How do we know that livestock is not something happened to it because of this, or that a crop that we plant, the winter wheat we put out, the wheat that's already out there, it's been out there, is it going to be, impacted when it's time to harvest in late June or early July? I mean, those are all legitimate questions, and we're trying to get them, the answers.
Governor, thank you very much and good luck. I know it's a real challenge for Ohio, and I know that no one wanted this to happen. You certainly didn't, and the railway didn't. Nobody did, but I hope that we all, stay on this and help these people. Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks, Greta. Thank you very much.